What's up, guys? Thanks and welcome back to Gaslit News. Recently, there has been an attack at uh, Fête de la Musique in France. Um, yeah, 145 people were attacked with syringes. That's really crazy. So, from what I can see, this is a sea of brown people. I mean, it's like you have to look really hard for a pale face. Um, this is an attack on brown people. Now, I know you guys like to call, the people of melanin of this country and around the world black people. But it's funny because if you see the people, it says there's an attack in France, right? It doesn't say black people. If there's an attack in America, you'll say Americans. They stray away from calling the brown people Native Americans, don't they? So I say all that to say I do not reference our people as black. I don't see anyone that color. And I do see an attack on God's people. I see an attack on many different hues of brown people with syringes. And the thing about this was it was reported that most of these people that were attacked, the bulk of them were teenage girls. Teenage girls. Why would you want to attack brown teenage girls? Well, it seems like an annihilation of a certain kind of people. And I mean, if someone wanted to do something like that indefinitely, you probably attack the wombs of the actual creators of those people, right? Because the brown girls aren't just sticking to the brown guys, right? Everyone's branching out. But down the line, that melanin will pop back up, won't it? So, I don't know. But my theory is, I'm thinking they put something in the syringes that would affect procreation in some kind of way. I mean, that's just theory. Just from the fact that they stated that, several news outlets have stated that it was more brown women, and they were teenagers, were the bulk of the ones that were attacked with these syringes. So, I mean, it could be that. I think it's just horrific to think that there were so many of them. 14 people were arrested behind this. And it's horrific to think that you could be living in the world where there could be even one person that's heinous enough to do something like this. But then 14 sick, dangerous idiots out there. I've always advised my children to stay away from crowds, stay out of crowds, stay away from big crowds. It's never worth it. Just because I paid attention in school and anytime I did any kind of, learning educational thing, and, group think is a real thing, One person can have a rational idea, but you put them in a room with tons of other people and that just it can become insanity. It can become a lynch mob. So, yeah. So then I thought to myself, I thought I saw something that said this has actually happened before. What? So is this like a thing they do in France? So then I said, well, listen. And then I found out that they did this in 2022. Well, if they did this in 2022, then shouldn't they have found out what was in those syringes in 2022? We have technology that's going like by the minute, like it's progressing by the minute. In 3 years, they didn't find out what was in those syringes. There is no solid evidence of what, if anything, was in the syringes pricking people at La Fête de la Musique in France in 2022. Here's what's known, says AI. Reports from 2022 describe multiple incidents during festivals, clubs, and bars where people, mostly young women, claimed they were needle spiked. The French Ministry of the Interior acknowledged the majority of complaints reported traces of being injected, but emphasized that the absence of detected substances doesn't necessarily mean nothing was injected. It could be due to late or improper testing. In many cases, toxicology testing failed to conclusively identify drugs like GHB or Rohypnol. Investigators often could not confirm any drug presence, and there were no verified findings of incapacitating substances. Bottom line, despite the fear and warnings, no definitive drug has ever been confirmed in these syringe pricking incidents, and in 2022, toxicology results often came up negative or inconclusive. That is a load of sugar honey iced tea. So they came back inconclusive because this is on a bigger scale. Something like 14 people and being so choreographed and planned. It had to be someone that's done like ops before. You know what I mean? So, this is unfortunate, right now with all the different things that are happening to the American people with our government and what our food industries and our environments, and our communities. It's clearly an attack on people. Um, it's a shame. All right, guys. I am not ashamed of you for clicking on this video, however. Don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel Gaslit News for more. And moreover, keep your head up and your eyes open and your hands together when you pray. See you next time.
Really went down at France's biggest music festival this weekend. Here's what we know, no fluff, just facts. At least 145 people were reportedly stabbed with syringes at Fête de la Musique, a massive annual celebration held across France. These weren't isolated incidents. Victims were scattered across several cities, including Paris, Bordeaux, and Toulon. Some of them were teenagers. Others say they never even saw who did it. According to the French police, the motives remain unclear. There's no evidence yet of drug injections or coordinated attack. Still, over 100 formal complaints have been filed, and many people were hospitalized with symptoms like dizziness and nausea. Video footage from the night shows chaotic scenes, crowd pushing, people panicking, and security scrambling. The French government has faced backlash for not increasing security, despite similar reports happening last year. And now TikTok is flooded with clips, theories, and survivor accounts from people who say the night turned terrifying. This isn't the first time syringe attacks have made headline in France, but this may be the largest spike yet. No suspects have been publicly identified, no arrests have been made, and for now, the festival that was meant to unify the country is being investigated as a national safety concern, leaving many questioning. If hundreds of people were attacked in broad daylight, how does no one know who did it? Bow.
This is why I keep saying, head on a swivel, be aware of your surroundings when you're especially in large crowds, in large gatherings. There was a music festival in Paris, France. Over 145 people were targeted and pricked with syringes. You heard what I said. Over 145 people targeted and pricked with syringes. Most of the people that were targeted were teenage girls. The story is the people that were pricked with the syringes noticed a mark on their body. Then they started to feel ill. Now keep in mind, nobody knew what was in these syringes at the time they were used. And it's being reported that 12 out of the over 145 people that were pricked with syringes are being detained. Ask yourself that question. What are they being detained for? So please keep this in mind the next time you're looking to go out. There are a lot of crazy people out there that are looking to do harm and hurt others for no reason whatsoever. Mind you, there was over 1,000 people at this festival, and usually this may kick off a copycat. So please head on a swivel. Just be mindful, be careful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you. This is why I keep saying, head on a swivel, be aware of your surroundings when you're
we gotta talk about what happened in France. Because over 145 people, mostly women, all over the country reported on being attacked with syringes during the Fête de la Musique. Now, French authorities have detained 12 suspects. In case you don't know what the Fête de la Musique is, it's like the annual street music festival in France, meaning that millions of people took the streets all over France, but especially in Paris. People are saying that there were unprecedented crowds in Paris. And to be honest, as somebody who was in Paris that night, I have to agree. Before the festival began, people were warning others online, especially women, that there had been calls on social media to target women with syringes. And to be honest, most of the victims that reported on this happening to them are in fact women and girls. Toxicological tests are being done. We don't exactly know what substances were in these needles. And as I said, 12 suspects have been arrested. Among them were 4 people in the southwestern city of Angoulême, is that how you say it? I don't know. Suspected of having targeted about 50 victims. 2 men were also arrested in Metz on suspicion of syringe attacks. One man had been caught with a syringe, and a woman who complained of being stabbed with one had recognized the other. Victims in Metz were believed to be under 18. One of the suspects, a man aged 20, was previously known to the authorities for violence. In the Normandy, several young women had also complained of being stabbed with syringes. In the western city of Tours, 13 women complained to fire services on duty at a music event that someone had pricked them with a syringe. This isn't the first time this has happened at the Fête de la Musique. This happened in 2022 as well, not on this scale, I believe. And the authorities in 2022 reported that the syringe marks were generally on the arms, buttocks, or back, without victims normally seeing the alleged attacker. During the entirety of the event, 370 people were detained on various charges, including nearly 90 people in Paris. It is also said that there were 3 to 4 times as many people in Paris as normal, which isn't just because of the Fête de la Musique. During the same night, there was also a huge concert happening, so that also attracted more people. By the way, this isn't the first time, people have organized these syringe attacks online to target women specifically. This is happening again and again and again. Men getting together online and saying, hey, let us get these syringes, these needles, and then let's go out and target women just for fun. And as I said, I was in Paris during the Fête de la Musique. I specifically did not go in the area where all of that was happening, but I did talk to a lot of the locals. Many of them told me, especially the women, that if I wanted to go, just don't. It is not safe for you there as a woman. Not just because the syringes, the needles, but different types of attacks as well. Some of them told me that normally during the Fête de la Musique, they just stay at home. It is absolutely atrocious that women are being limited when it comes to celebrating basic things like music. And frankly speaking, with misogyny on the rise, what are you going to do? When millions of people are out, how are you going to, stop the men that have syringes? How are you going to look for them? You can't search everybody. This is why you can't just treat the symptoms of a systematic issue. You have to go to the root of it.